please turn to page 7 of the Kurukulla Center Prayer Book. We'll start with Refuge and Bodhicitta on page 7 and do the regular Sunday to page 37. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. In the Buddha's Dharma and Sangha, until enlightened I seek refuge, through merit from giving and the rest. To aid all may I become Buddha. May all sentient beings have happiness causes. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings never be parted from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from bias, attachment, and hatred. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good Gata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer of the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme among humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean. Gone to thusness I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path to sublime pure reality, to the Dharma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts. To you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a mirage, the flame of a lamp. An illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble. A dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. From Tushita's hundreds of gods, protector's heart, to tip of this fresh, pure, white heap, curd like cloud, O Lord, Tsongkhapa, Dharma's omniscient King, pray come to this place with your disciples. In space ahead, on lion throne, lotus and moon, venerable Guru, smile brightly with delight. Pray stay hundreds of eons to spread doctrine as supreme merit, field for my mind of faith. Your wisdom mind sees full range of knowables. Your eloquent speech adorns fortunate ears. Your beauteous body, fame, glory, outstanding. Homage to you, worthwhile to think of, hear and see. Pleasant offerings of water, various flowers, fragrant incense, light perfume, and so on. Oceans of offerings set out and envisioned, offered up to you, supreme field of merit, non-virtue committed with body, speech, and mind, which I have heaped up since beginningless time, especially what has contradicted three vows. Each I confess from my heart with strong regret. In time of strife you strove to learn and practice, shunned eight mundane concerns, made life essence-full. O protector from depths of our hearts, we rejoice in your powerful great deeds. Venerable Gurus, from love and wisdom, clouds densely massed in your Dharmakaya sky, pray loose a rain of vast profound dark on fields of disciples just as needed. May whatever virtue that I've here gathered bring benefit to all beings and doctrine, and may it make venerable Tsongkhapa essential teachings shine forever. Mig say wei ter chen rezik, dream kien pei wang po jam yang, du pung malu jom ze sang wei dag, gang chen ke pei tsu yen Tsongkhapa, lo sang dra pe jabla so adeb. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus on my crown, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments of body, speech, and mind. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness. Bestow attainments common and supreme. O glorious and precious root Guru, pray take seat of lotus at my heart, caring for me with your great kindness, until supreme awakening remain steadfast. Homage to the exalted three jewels. Thus have I heard at one time. The Blessed One was dwelling in Rajagriha on Vulture Mountain, together with a great assembly of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the concentration of the countless aspects of phenomena called profound illumination. At that very time, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, was looking perfectly at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, perfectly looking at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, how should a child of the lineage train who wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, replied to the Venerable Shariputra as follows. Shariputra, whichever son or daughter of the lineage wishes to engage in the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look perfectly like this. Subsequently, looking perfectly and correctly at the emptiness of inherent existence of the five aggregates also. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are empty without characteristics. That is, they are not produced and do not cease. They have no defilement and no separation from defilement. They have no decrease and no increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness. There is no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind. No visible form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, no mental phenomenon. There is no I element and so forth up to no mind element, up to no element of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no cessation of ignorance and so forth, up to no aging and death and no cessation of aging and death. Likewise, there is no suffering, no origin, no cessation, and no path, no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide in the perfection of wisdom. And because their minds have no obstructions, they have no fear. Passing utterly beyond error, they attain the final state beyond sorrow. All the Buddhas who reside in the three times by relying upon the perfection of wisdom become manifest and complete Buddhas in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the equal to the unequaled mantra, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, since it is not false, should be known as the truth. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Tayata, gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisoha. Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, a great being, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that concentration and said to the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, well said, O child of the lineage, so it is. The profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced exactly as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra, the superior Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva, the great being, and the entire assembly, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, demigods, Gandharvas, and others, were filled with admiration and highly praised what had been spoken by the Blessed One. In the holy supreme abode of the Dakinis, possessed of clairvoyance and miraculous power, unwaveringly caring for practitioners as your children, homage to the hosts of the three places Dakinis. Tayata, Om, Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisoha. Through the power of truth of the exalted three jewels speech, may all on the side of negativity, such as the four Maras, be stopped. May they become non-existent. May they be pacified. All enemies, obstructors, and hindrances, Shanti Kuruye Soha. The 80,000 types of obstructors pacified, freed from adverse harmful conditions. May all be conducive and perfect auspiciousness. Bring happiness and well-being here, right now. Saji Purvi Ju Xing Mei To Tram Ri Prab Ling Ji Yi De Yen Pa Di San Ye Jing Du Mi Te O Wa Yi Dro Kun Nam Dag Jing La Chur Par Sho Jie Tsun Lama Dam Pa Kye Nam Ki Chur Koi Kalam Kien Se Trin Drigne Jitar Sampe Dul Jid Zin Ma La Zap Ye Churki Char Pawab Tu So Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami Chodang Soki Chognam La Jang Chobardu Dagni Kyapsu Chi Dagi Chunyen Gi Pesonam Ki Dola Pinchir Sangye Rupa Sho Chodang Soki Chognam La Bardu Dagni Kyapsu Chi Dagi Chunyen Gi Pesonam Ki Drola Pinchir Sangye Rupa Sho Chodang Suki Chognam La Jangtu Bardu Dagni Kyapsu Chi Dagi Chunyen Gi Pesonam Ki Drola Penchir Sangye Drupa Shu.
Good morning, everyone. How are you today? It's okay? It's a little cold. It's okay? Good, good. Yeah. Is that okay? Anyway, it's great opportunity to meet we all together and learn about a little bit Buddhism. Actually, there are 7 billion people. Billion, is correct? 6 or 7 billion or million? Billion, right? The 7 billion people is same is us to wish to happy, wish to free all the problems. Therefore, a lot of people also believe the religion. They believe religion, then they pray, they ask to their guidance, God, Buddha, Allah, Shiva, whatever. They ask her to give blessing and help for us. And many also people doesn't believe religion. but they both same is to wish to happy and wish to solve all the problems, right? Therefore, if your religion or not, it doesn't matter. If you believe or not, doesn't matter. Then we need to understand the reality, what the problems come from, how we solve. This we need to learn, understand. Also, if your religion or not doesn't matter, you can practice for loving kindness, love and kind. It's love and kindness, not only religion. Therefore, we have more developed love and kind, then we don't get a lot of problems. Right? Right? Are you sure? The mothers love their kids, right? Therefore, they don't get angry at the kids. Maybe simple little bit. Not same is angry with your someone envy you. You angry a little bit, but your anger is just very soft. Right? But you never give up your compassion to your child, even how much difficult situation. Maybe kids a little bit, 20 years, 90, then maybe parents, oh, too much give up. But since, maybe before teenagers, the parents never ever, even how much difficult they never give. Sometimes they get a little angry, but they inside deep, the mind never get it. Therefore, even they're angry a little bit, but that doesn't cause much the parents, we call how say peace. That doesn't bother very much. Same as someone person, you're very angry at us, Dad, are you angry with kids? You can check very detailed. It's very completely different. Because the person you get angry, you don't have compassion with them. When you get angry with a kid, you have compassion. You never give a compassion. Therefore, it's very different. They're two different angries. Right? This is that your parents have more experience. Therefore, then Buddhism is also one part of the religion that some people say is not religion. It's a study for reality. Difference. People miss what means religion. Usually we believe some way God. They can control everything. Then what? They can give for all the our blessing. And we believe like their countries, I believe, we call religion. Then if like you believe like that, religion is maybe Buddhism is not religion. Buddhism is not Buddha give for us to all the phenomenon things. We believe all our phenomena, all our feeling happy or sad things depend for in our own mind. For example, kanaro dixemi matthew so that just as I say dixemi matthew junjiro. Then we Buddhism believe it's a hell realm. It's a very bad place, very, very bad place. Even we had not mentioned, iron ground. Then someone said, who made the iron ground? The Shantideva said, it is no one, it is your own mind. Accept no? Negative mind. The negative mind makes the iron ground. Then they say, if you want to kill your enemy, never ever end. Do you think we can finish our enemy? Maybe you have today maybe 10 enemies. You can kill all of them. Then you say, oh, I'm not done. But next day, another 10 come in. Another 10 come in. Another 10 come in. Therefore, then, how we finish our enemy? They say, you keep your own mind. Kill your own delusion. That is you from your enemy. Therefore, these things, we have to check. It's true or not. It's not we need to really go details, 9/11 for our country thing, we, with the work of war, Iran or what did it? First they did, yeah. When we did, then we are fine. We did until it's still not finished. More. Therefore, we don't need to go very far away. Therefore, Buddha said, subdue your own mind. This is the teaching of the Buddha. The subdue means get out that kind of mind. Now this is we have to check. It's true or not. What kind of mind? Get out. You have always thinking only by yourself. Only by yourself means you are not thinking others. That not means like that. Most important you, right? We always there. First, my. Also we say I, right? I. Right? First I. Then my. Then my kids. All right? Then my family. That kind of mind. Always I. This is very, enemy for us. Now we have to check this is true or not. Right? For example, one day you get angry. Maybe you are angry with your workplace, or maybe your school. You have to check how I develop. You say develop my anger. You really think the first that develop is you think very careful. We say, oh, he or she did something wrong me, right? Their decision is that maybe he or she doesn't listen what I say, or he or she doesn't do what I thought have to do. We always think we are the right person, right? You think you guys are the right person? I think so. Or the false others, right? This is the true. We have to check it's true or not. Therefore, karo danda chachi to push mari mame machi kanete. So, kanji. Therefore, Tsongkhapa say, we all the time iron cage, cotton iron cage, thereof, then what? Of what? Ignorance. Of ignorance. Okay. Okay. Iron cage of ignorance. Therefore, you have three sufferings, unlimited, continuously, again and again. Okay? Now these things, we don't need to say, oh, Buddha said that, we have to accept, not like that. Buddhism said that like this, we don't need like that. It's true or not. If you Buddhism or not, doesn't matter. You can learn Buddhism method, you can use the other things. Right? If you study Buddhism, follow the rules of Buddhism. You just use the method to different way. Therefore, maybe example, the lawyers can learn the debate, Tibetan philosophy, then they become very good lawyer. The lawyers have to debate, right? Someone say you're wrong. They say I'm not wrong because they're wrong. Therefore, philosophy is very good for your mind, because knowledge is for our nature, but we don't open all the knowledges. We just switch off all the knowledges. We need to switch on the knowledges. We can, use a lot of things. Therefore, since when we born until today, we always exam for others. Right? We say, oh, he doesn't do that. Oh, she doesn't do it. Oh, they don't know what to do. Right? We never examine our own mind. Do you guys examine? If you honest, for example, special, one I'm joking, one I'm serious. Special Westerns have more, little bit ego, because most people doesn't want to say I don't know, right? If you do wrong, they say yeah I know, right? I don't know. This is maybe culture or maybe this law. If you say the front the people I don't know, then you feel maybe they think I'm the maybe uneducated person. I don't know this. Maybe culture or someone do wrong exactly. You say, you do wrong. Say, yeah, I know. Why you do that? You know that, right? Like that kind, usually we don't check, right? They shows. I think this may be Western culture. Maybe not just something wrong. A lot of things for our different culture. For also, the Tibetan culture, our Buddhism, they relate to our Tibetan Buddhism, they relate with Tibetan culture. Now they to the Western, they're really difficult to fit because of different culture, different idea. But if you like or not, if you believe or not, just you can check if this is true or not. Okay? The Buddha himself also same as us, first time ignorant person. He got married, he has a kid after he ran away. And then whatever he has experienced, then he teach for us. He said, okay, this is my experience. It's true or not, you can check. For example, the person has more experience, they can teach for us. They make more sense. Right? Now for us, I don't have experience for Buddhism. I study a lifetime. I have not experienced. And of course, you guys just couple years, then just once a week, only there were 2 hours. We monastery, morning about 5:30 to, the later ones maybe, 11, 12. We study every day. 1 week, 1 day, vacation. Otherwise, all day, whole life, that's still we stuck there. Right? Sometimes we come there. he knows how to study morning to evening, but still they are difficult to understand. Also difficult practice. Because this is difficult because our mind is more, habit for all the religions. Therefore, we have to change the big switch off, switch on another. It's all not easy. Right? Sometimes Buddhism is not very nice for us. Right? People say that. This is true, right? Check. If you really check, how people have more ego, those people is never ever happy. The problem of suffering has two, physical and mental. The mental suffering or mental has more power. They can control the physical suffering. Physical cannot control the mental. For example, the physical, someone has a very $1 million house, very nice garden, very nice, living room, very nice bed, very nice, maybe a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand. It's a bed, or the bathtub, very fancy. But if your mind's not very happy, that doesn't give you more happy. Right? You're very lonely in that place. It's a very fancy place, but your mind's not very happy. Therefore, we say pig, pig? Pig, right? Pig thinks when he plays is very holy place. He's very, he can sleep everywhere. Pig doesn't care, he can go everywhere, he can sleep everywhere. Pig, right? Therefore, because he has not ego, he must very, just when he got food, that's enough. He don't need too much things. He needs a lot to eat. Then he can sleep, he doesn't care. He thinks whatever he said is very holy place. But our people is not same like that. Therefore, maybe many centuries people think when we have physical things of all things good, then we think we are very happy. And then 19th century, 20th century, then people know, or even the physical things are all very well, that is not keep the happiness. For example, when we stay here, we think we are not a very good place, right? You guys all complain, right? You are a terrible place. But if you, compare the physical things, physical conditions, this country is the best place. You compare other countries, China, India, Nepal, Africa. But we always complain, right? We say, problem here, problem here, problem here. We have not contentment. In India and Nepal, they say the US is a heaven. They say go to heaven. It's not heaven, But here, if you do something, you have to do. You can do things, right? You can do education. You can do all freedom. Whatever you want. In other many countries, if you want to do something, that you have nothing to do. Therefore, compare the other place. This place is very good condition for physical, but still we have a lot of problems because our mind is not peaceful. It doesn't matter outside. Here when we cold, we can just turn off the heat. If you cold, you can turn on the cold. Air condition, right? Many places that's not possible. But we don't think we are the very good place. We always complain. Therefore, most important, think about our mind. It's very important. Therefore, some say, very important to study. If you don't study, you don't know how you practice. Therefore, you study, you learn, then you can do that, right? It's very related to with the science. Whatever you want to do, you have to learn, right? You're good enough, you have to learn. If you learn, you study, then you can do whatever that do. Same as Buddhism. You not just stay there at your home, maybe read a maybe very thick book. It's not, doesn't matter. If you doesn't think in your mind, not just you, we don't think our mind. Buddha said, I cannot transfer for my knowledge for you. I cannot wash your delusions. Then how can I help you? I show you the reality path. You can practice, then you free from suffering. Right? As an example, you go get Harvard PhD, education. The teacher cannot transfer his knowledge for you, right? He teach what the book say. Then you learn, that you can get the PhD education, right? If you don't learn, you don't study, doesn't matter you go to Harvard. If you are very good teacher, it doesn't matter, you don't study. Therefore, Buddhism, people say Buddhism is not very nice, they always complain for us. But this is, if you really think something wrong where? Not outside, something wrong inside. Therefore, we have to learn a bit more thinking, more analytical meditation. Okay? Analytical meditation is very important. Sometimes people say meditation means just, without talking, without thinking, just sit down. It is all part of meditation, that is not real meditation. Meditation means you need to some of the object, that you think that, you keep your mind on that, more develop. Right? For example, whatever our mind, what things more familiarized, then our minds more touch there. More touch. Understand? If you lack something, you can see, if you lack something, first you have a little bit touch there. Then you think, anything, right? You can think there more, you can see them more, then you more develop your touch. Then you want that. Right? This is what we need to a little bit our, experience. I think you have a lot of experience like that, You can do one experience, then you can also, apply the example for another things. For example, if some boy or girl like someone, for they see, maybe it's nice. That time you have very little attachment, not much. Then maybe you can more contract. Then you more develop. Then you have more developed attachment. And then you can see what they talk, whatever they see, what their actions. You can see all the good qualities. Then you have more attachment, more touch. Is it? You guys have more experience, right? Therefore, our mind is, the Shantideva said, what is more experience?
So there isn't anything that becomes easier with familiarization.
Okay? For example, first time you guys come here, it's hard to read the Tibetan language, something, or read the books. Difficult, right? Then you learn more, then more easy. Everything's like that. Okay? This is like, basic, introduction for Buddhism. Therefore, even you study Buddhism, you don't need to Buddhism. You can, take the good things from Buddhism, use it another way. Doesn't matter. Okay? Anyway, the main thing is not looking for outside happiness. Happiness starts for our inside. The people here now say, everyone lacks the peace, right? We say, oh, we need peace, we need peace. Peace we have to start for our own. For example, the family here, we say, I like peace, I like peace. The neighbor's dog come your, what do you call, backyard, you get angry. It doesn't matter, you peace, it doesn't matter, right? Even neighbors, some maybe, what do you call, trash, maybe put a little bit of your property, you get angry. Doesn't matter, you say, oh, I like peace, oh, I peace, peace, doesn't matter. Because you doesn't start. Then you're more open, if you don't care much. Then you more close to your neighbor. Then the neighbor also close, more neighbor close. Then city, then state, then country, then whole world. Otherwise, whole city people say, oh, we wish to peace, walk today. Peace doesn't come. We have to stop here, okay? Okay, now we go start here, okay? 다가서 먼저 사실 시와도 마치 론에 다들 대시로 때려 샤샤이마스.
So last time we read about that section, the fourth section, but we didn't finish the explanation on that, right?
단지나라까지 다 남아 산지비 아니 접 산지 추긴데 좀 다들 배 대라 잡도 쳐봐도 배 전부래 배도 전부였으려고 왔어.
So we're talking about taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, right? So, especially we're talking about the part where it talks about the benefits of taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha.
What page?
It's 375 is an outline 198.
Yeah.
So in the blue book, it's on page 375. It's outline 198.
좋아. 단대 가르에서나 펜도 쳐서 갔나 단 네가 랍자 띵강도 펜게 와서 그 펜도 침벌에 라바레스로. 아니 너를 가르왔다. 잡 송원에 펜도 침벌. 펜도 침벌에 갔나 쿨 잡수 송마 옛날 콜에 레바자와는 그 랍자 띵강도 녀게 돼. 그 랍자는 옛날 녀반은 강도 펜도 요래서 그래서.
So in brief, when we say there's a benefit of taking refuge, so the benefit of taking refuge is like when we take refuge, we're entrusting ourselves in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and what that means means that we believe in them and then we will follow whatever they say. So they say, okay, so because we believe in them, therefore, if they say, okay, do this and don't do that, we'll do that. Yeah? So if we do that, then we'll have the happiness. So what they teach is the instruction, the method to achieve happiness and to eliminate the sufferings, right? So if we follow those methods or instructions, then we'll definitely have the benefits that's talking about here.
가르에서는 간두고 강의로 되는 간두 로열라 잡차기로 왔. and loyal 잡아는 loyal 띵간도 잡통간도 걔네가 여러 와가지.
For example, if we are facing some kind of a legal issue, then we usually take refuge in the, in other words, we rely on the lawyer or somebody who knows about the law, right?
그래. 근데 이마다 아니 감시된다. 아니 간도 나사로 지금 나와이나 아니 간도 다달래 멤버를 잡자고 여러 왔어.
And similarly, when we are sick, are not healthy, then we rely on the doctor, right?
그런데 대편도 치면 갔나 멤버 강을 라바데 냠바 있나 아니 디글 라바데 수수 냠을 치면은 수수 지나 편게 와서 그 편도 치면 라바데.
So the reason there's a benefit of relying on a doctor is because doctor knows what is the disease, right? He can tell you what kind of disease you have, what kind of medicine you should take, and so forth. So when he gives those instructions to you and you follow those instructions, of course, if you don't follow, then there's no benefit. But if you follow those instructions given by the doctor, then you will receive the benefit of seeing or relying or even taking refuge in the doctor.
Okay. Then 다 가서 많다면 그냥 단지 지나가 상지 추견에서 점도 치와이나 다처럼 남아 상지 받쳐와래 해서라 그래서 남아 상지 힘에서야지 강하다지라 점도 남아 힘했다 그래서.
And so if you wholeheartedly take the refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, not just verbally, but from your heart, then you become a Buddhist. So that's one of the benefits.
그러와. 이셔다 전화지 가로 추냐에 쳐와 남아 쳐고 말해서 이다 다처럼 남아 쳐니 저거에나 남아 지는 많이 전화 점도 점도 있다고 그러더라고.
So in order to practice Buddhism, you don't have to become a Buddhist, but to be a Buddhist, you have to have refuge. So whether you are Buddhist or not is determined by whether you have taken refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha or not.
근데 다들란도 근데 점도 세대 간에 그거든나 야다 점도 시작하고 연지 레모셔 미셴베 점도 미셴베 지쳐 나한테 정해서 많이 봐 소소가 가끔 특서 많이 봐다 소소 셈되냐 다 가대 점도 남다 제고 그래서 봐.
So like it says in that second, the next paragraph of that outline, so when you take refuge, therefore don't merely repeat the same word as other people or take refuge only verbally, take refuge from your heart.
그래서 배워라 가베여서 치카라한테 치수세요 그래서 치카시에 치게 잡아는 강간냠도 주셔 그래. 아니 나 가와 가진 주게 뭐 가와 주 하고 말때는 뭐 이래서.
So there's a saying in Tibetan, that the dogs bark by seeing the other dog bark. They don't know the reason why they're barking, but they just bark because other dogs barking.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't do like that.
대다다 전수변화 다 밑에서 남바로 지금도 나 최고 상황이 봐 수수고 지 진세 그거 삼로 땅에 지나대 아니 수수 냠을 야용으로.
And so similarly, if you are practicing Buddhism, then you should not be practicing Buddhism just because somebody else is practicing Buddhism. You should be practicing Buddhism because you see the benefit, you see the reason behind that, and therefore you should be practicing Buddhism.
근데 강사 되잖아. 점도 남다지까 이 제와나 강사 되다 남아 상지와 순적으로 해서.
And so if the person takes refuge, by understanding the meaning, by developing the cause, the two causes of taking refuge and so forth, then you become real Buddhist.
아라님 고당에서 동안 이제 델레티는 네 바퀴들로 유비 이치 대화도 그디 제와나 다 가다들은 남바스라 바레스.
So whenever you have developed these two causes for taking refuge, like the first one is being afraid of the sufferings, of the three lower realm especially, and believing that Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha has the power to protect you from these sufferings. So when you have these two, then you have taken refuge.
텐데 매와치 텐데도 매와연 매네 니 짱도 몸대치 싸다보나 나만 소용.
With that understanding, when you entrust completely yourself in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, then you have taken refuge and you become a Buddhist. Otherwise, just reciting the refuge formula or the refuge verse, even like 100,000 times or 1,000,000 times, you don't become Buddhist.
Okay. 근데 이제 능력마야 지금 삼바원이 여서라서 아니 삼바원이 지금 문에 전에 지금 점로 아니 다 돈달라서 아니 공도 지금다 라박 사대서 봐. 아니 미심바디야 아니 그래 다처럼 아니 단 민디 사가 말해서 고 점로도 사가 말해서 하면은 계절도 그냥 가서 사송 아니 전도 점로 숙점로 숙사기 왜서 대체 말해서 어떤 디말도 어떻게 돼 말.
So and then the next paragraph where it talks about a monk who was there were a number of monks who were doing retreat on a refuge prayer. And so there were, of course, when you do the retreat, you recite, the refuge prayer, certain number of time, whatever number of time you have promised, to recite, like 100,000, 1,000,000 times, whatever number of time that you have, taught to recite or promised to recite. But you have to think from your heart also, of taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. But then there was this monk, who was spending more time on contemplating on the meaning of taking refuge, rather than just reciting the prayers. And about the other monks, who were just reciting the prayers and they were just like finishing it up. And because they want to finish it up all together, therefore they were worried that the other monks not going to finish, so they will all have to wait for him. So then they asked him, are you getting close to finish or not? And then he told them, like it says here, have you only been totting up some number for the refuge formula? So it means just accumulating the number of prayers, but not really taking refuge from your heart. So when you recite the refuge prayer, you have to contemplate on the meaning of the refuge, and of course you have to visualize the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and then from your heart, take refuge in them by developing those two causes of the taking refuge, like being afraid of the sufferings of the three lords at least, and believing in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha that they have the power to protect you from these sufferings, and with that, then you take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha.
Okay. Today that another chozo by the tondo mikachi, not lost something is take as you can charachi in the was. Or that duty that some of them with that, then
so then some people, they nowadays you might have heard, people say, oh, I have done 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days retreat like that. And so just by saying it out to others, and kind of boasting that they have done such and such retreat, it shows the sign that they haven't done really properly. It's just the number they have accumulated or the time they have spent.
Some day go back same you are doing it was. And the Kajis come to the Malas of another church, they couldn't stop your down.
So the purpose of doing retreat is to subdue your mind. But when you come out of retreat, if you come out with the more arrogance, then that's already a sign that your retreat wasn't good.
And then natural go back at it. So the same time, young Kaji, natural Chene, Martin, Chulu Shambalachi, Gabajadi. They are not there.
And then purpose of practicing Buddhism, the outcome should be that your mind is more subdued, right? More peaceful, more subdued. But instead, if you have more complaints, or if you say bad things about others or other religions and so forth, that is not a good outcome of practicing Buddhism. And so whether you're Buddhist or not, depends on whether you take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha or not. Whether you take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha or not depends on whether you have developed those two causes for taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha or not. And the other benefit of taking refuge is that when you have taken refuge, then you have established a base to receive other vows as well. And so just like to be a candidate for becoming a president of this country, you have to be a citizen, not just citizen, but born in the country, right? So that is the kind of a requirement to make the person become a candidate for a president. Without that, no matter what you do, who you are, no matter who you are, what you do, you will never become a president. So just like that, taking refuge is the requirement for receiving all other vows. And so if you haven't taken refuge, then no matter how practice you do, you will not receive any other vows.
Today, but that time on the Nambalaya, Domba Mobile, Tapan Chozo, Minasolina, Tango jump to Domba, layer was. And it didn't touch the gaining Domba shooting Mobile was. And it teleachine. And Domba, somehow Domba shooting in the was.
And then, talking about the other vows, that is taken on the basis of taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. You have, generally 3 types of vows, and those are like taking refuge can be one vow, And then you have, as a lay person, we have lay vows, right? And then you can take their vows, which is a patimoksha or individual liberation vow. And then there's a bodhisattva vow, and then tantric vow on top of that.
그래서 다 돈바 도서 강도직 가로 tam mujada trawa ani chasang chi chanimdele ta chamnimdele chogonro was.
And so these three types of vows can be taken by all types of practitioners, right? Whether they are ordained or not.
알 trawa다 아니 소야다 가로.
소도도 뭐 뭐지 뭐래.
네. 소대도 맞아 가로. 가로. 집에
개소는 게도 봐.
집에도 보통 뭐 살아도 뭐 타마가. 어때지? 근데 다 너도 trawa이나 trawa 아니나 아니 개수도 개롱선이 없어. 아니 개수라 아니
소도도 뭐 개서라.
알아 소도도 맞지.
걔는
집에도 뭐 동보서 라주도 뭐 타마가. 라주도 뭔가 집에도 뭐 쓰면다. 집에도 뭐데 아니 개념 뭐니? 로 년에 보면이 들어. 그래. 개념 아니 년에 아니 챵바도 가다 소대도 맞아. 그래다 년에 가도 년에 돈 바가지 년에 돈 받을래 요래서 다 같이 다 대성도가 다시 들랭이 있는 거지. 같이 다 맞아 미자 관계래 좋아하는데 대저소도 받지래 안 도와서. 아니 다 좀 미자들래라 가르잖아. 아니 갈래요서나 샹초스에 돈 받아 나도만 가도 잡아도 밑에 차선 냠도 내요지. 다 뒤 갈아야 아니 미자도 갈래요서나 아니 대저소용 돈 받어야 돼. 개념도 받을래요 여러분.
And so in the Vinaya, when it talks about 8 vows and 8 individual liberation vows, 8 patimoksha vows, and so the 3 are for the lay and 5 are for the ordained. So anyway, there are patimoksha vow, and then there's a tantric vow, and then there's a bodhisattva vow, right? So 3 types of vows. So bodhisattva vows and tantric vows can be taken by all types of practitioners, whether they are ordained or not. But in the patimoksha vow, there are certain kind of vows that is taken, by the lay only by the lay, like the lay vows, and then there's the day vows and so forth, and then there's the vows taken by only the ordained people, like the novice vow, the fully ordained vow, and so forth. So those are different kind of patimoksha vows. So you have to take refuge, in order to receive these vows. And so without taking refuge in the Buddha Dhamma and Sangha, there's no way you can receive these vows. So, for example, without depending on the ground, can any plants can grow? Like plants and trees, can they grow without depending on the ground? There are some which can be, which can grow from the water, right? Not on the ground.
Don't guys sleep.
So generally, of course, we all believe that generally it is true that the plants and trees they have to grow by depending on the ground, right? And so because just like the ground that is required for all these plants and trees to grow, the taking refuge is similar to that. And so, so the first benefit of taking refuge is that you become a Buddhist once you take refuge, and then second benefit is that it serves as a basis, for all the subsequent vows.
다 디면서 아니다 점로 요하나 아니 녀석이 녀 사샤비 레지 디와소마 다로 그래서
And then other benefit of taking refuge, the third one is that all the karma, all the negative karmas created in the past, will be purified.
아니 자보수지 녀모세데 코랑게 파워세비가 참매를 해서와다나 산제든지 아니 점로도 마슈 산제기 라레스는 녀네 슈마니 스타슈모로서 톱테리 쇼인 버레스.
So like it says in the text here, it says even the heinous crimes that one has committed can be purified by taking refuge in the Buddha and Sangha, like the example of the Ajatashatru, the king Ajatashatru killed his one father, Bimbishara, who had achieved the result of never returner. And so by meeting with the Buddha later, and then taking refuge in the Buddha and Sangha, he has purified, even though there are such a serious negative karma, such as taking life of his own father.
다른 저도 도바사라 다른 가서 관계 남이 가서 점도 마시고 다 가서 가와 잘해 다른 가서 전에 잠마셔 누가 영도 와서 저도 채널을 봤을 때 도바 영도.
So we might think that we have taken refuge, yet we still experience all these endless sufferings. Do you have that kind of doubt? Why is it that?
이거 가르나 나도 점도 남다 야보지 네 가로 지금 매봤다 아니 가로 딱 가지 점도 라자도 야보지까지 지금 매봤다 따로 그러더라고.
So that's because we are not exactly, we're not practicing exactly like it is explained by the Buddha, or not doing our practices properly.
대마대 아니 사직은 chen chub 셰신도 받아서 벤선이 몇 말해서 대마대 아니다 잡수 송한테 손님 체에 따라가다 아니 잡수 손님 수준나 동선도 안 내도 중세 가디 점로 야보지 손님한테 바치 진짜로 전화 가서 동선 동 담을래도 사실 추월해 쇼가 말해서 그러.
And so by taking refuge in the Buddha and Sangha, even just reciting, even if you just recite the name of the Buddhas, right, or recite the sutras, the teachings taught by the Buddha, then that purifies of negative karma created for like millions and billions of lifetime. And so, of course, if you can recite all these teachings, given by the Buddha, like the Professional Wisdom Sutra and so forth, that purifies a lot of negative karma. So just by reciting, that, you can purify a lot of negative karma. So, of course, if you take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, that will definitely purify all the negative karmas that we've created since beginning of this lifetime. And and so that's why it says here the merit, of taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. If it is a physical object, it will not, it will be, too big, to fit in this whole three world systems.
그래서 시당 가서 개자 침지다 가서 그런 것도 그래서 옛날 잠도 세티 아니 시간 달랐던데 아니 그런 건데 야보 가디나 매바이나야 아니 다 저저도 비전도 그래서
So generally, motivation plays a very important role in what we do, right? Whether it becomes a Mahayana practice or Hinayana practice and so forth. But just the taking refuge, always becomes a cause to achieve enlightenment. No matter what kind of motivation you have. So that's the power, that's through the power of the merit, the merit field, the field that you take refuge in. So through the power of the Buddha, right? And so whatever you do in relation to Buddha, positive karmas in relation to Buddha, and that becomes a cause to achieve Buddhahood.
가로다 시드의 마야보 답 대를 추들리드 야보 잡 자상 이제 마상에 버터 샤와이나 다 동강 갈아야 시가야 보 매월 쇼 내가 마요 가지고 말람 잡나 그 ranju 깨어 거로 봤어. 디오들 마마 빼다 뭐 소샤도.
And so, like it says here in that next paragraph, the Buddha are such karmically potent being that root virtue gathered in relation to them will definitely become the cause of one's achieving full enlightenment. And so anything that you do in relation to the Buddha becomes, any root virtue that you have created in relation to the Buddha becomes cause to achieve enlightenment for yourself. And then and then also it gives example, of having all the causes and condition together. Right? So if you have, if you are planning to plant, a seed to grow, let's say rice or corn, and then you have the seed, you plant it in the ground, and you give all the favorable conditions like the manure, the fertilizer, the moisture, and so forth. Everything's there. All the conditions there. The cause is there, and the autumn, and you say, may it not grow into rice or into corn. Will that stop growing or not? No, right? Because all the conditions there. Therefore, no matter what you think, it will still grow. And so it becomes like that. So when you take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, no matter what you think, it will become a cause to achieve enlightenment. It will definitely ripen into the into the state of Buddhahood.
That thing that two can chugo lajadere, so chugo lajad to Semjala Nete was. Semjala Nete Bons never she's about Ling, Kaja Negno, tell never chase. They might want to children. Not a chap chedong, Kamaching the Law Marada, the Konu Chamber. So
when you take refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, the one that really protects you from the suffering, is the Dharma, right? Buddha shows the the way. The Dharma is the real antidote, to overcome all the sufferings, and Sangha is the helper. So the main thing is the Dharma. So Dharma, taking refuge in the Dharma, the things that you should not do once you have taken refuge in the Dharma is do not cause harm to other sentient beings. So that's going against taking refuge in the Dharma, right? So if you do that, then definitely, that will bring suffering to yourself. If you harm other beings, then that will definitely bring suffering to yourself. And so if you follow the Dharma, if you do the Dharma, if you follow the Dharma just like it is taught by the Buddha, then definitely you will have all these benefits. So the way we can cause harm to others, physically, verbally, and mentally, right? So like verbally, when we say something bad to others, right? Or when we criticize about somebody, then that causes harm to them, right? Just like we don't want to hear anything bad about ourselves, and when we hear that, we become unhappy, we become angry, and so forth, right? So just like that, others don't want to become, don't want to hear bad things about them. So therefore, we should not be talking bad things about others. And then, so even if you are not saying it, but if you send a message, by typing. Then that can also cause harm, right? So when people see that, they become unhappy, they become angry, and so forth. So then that is also causing harm. Therefore, we shouldn't do that either. And then I then mentally, when we think bad about others, mentally, right, with our mind. When we think about bad about others, how will that cause harm to others, right? That normally doesn't cause harm to others. They don't even know, they don't hear, they don't see what you're thinking, right? But that mind, which thinks bad about others, can cause you to say bad things, right? Can cause you to do bad things. Therefore, it started with the mind, right? And so therefore, we should also stop thinking bad about others. And of course, there's physically, which we don't have to, mention here, right? So in the teachings, in the teachings of taking refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, especially in the Dharma, the things that were prohibited from doing is causing harm to others. So if we don't cause harm to others, then we will have happiness also, right?
아니 저것도 먹고 양을 대봐 먹고서는 양을 대봐 통도 그래서 다들 대자로도 마송도 was.
And so that's taking refuge, not only purifies those negative karmas, but also creates a great amount of merit. Yeah, and so the example, like I mentioned earlier, so when you have all these causes and conditions together, even if you wish not to grow, they will still grow. And so that's example here explained in this text, right?
어디지? 아니 대마제 다 뭐도 못 말이가 내서 말해서 스치잖아 내가 지도 말했으라 점도 여보지 여봐이나.
Mentioned in the White Lotus of Compassion Sutra, which we already read before. So, and then the next benefit is that, and it says that one will not be bothered by the harmful actions of humans or creatures.
어떻게 데려가야 된다다 누망가서 가려서나 문대별 로자선다 가지 롱이 샤바든 배에더라 데려 남의 기니지라 바니 아니 그지라 점도에 와서 아니 뒤에 꺼내지 마다 와다 어떻게 말해서 봐
그래서
문대별 로자 롱이 샤바든 배에더라 아니 대 남의 기니지라 바 아니 기니티가 아니 점도에 보지 레벨 때문에 아니 샤바든 고마사 말해서 와.
And then there's an example here is given as this is a Tirthika, is a non-Buddhist, practitioner. Once made a noose, a noose out of energy wind and tried to catch a Buddhist upasaka. Upasaka is a lay, a practitioner, a lay vow holder, and with it, but did not succeed. Because he was taking refuge in the Buddha Dhamma and Sangha.
아니야 미치라야 게마탈로서 자갈로서 되는 사람 맞다 잡고 tum보이나 아니 되는 유샤가들 되는 유샤와이나 밍세마고 이제 되는 유샤나 다 지금 마담마만들 사로에서 왔어 아니 미치 된데 tum보코 되는 이유네 아니 그야 겐데겐데 남자 마보질라다 겐데게 좀 되지네 잡자네 아니 야고 가로 된지보다 타와레서 와.
And then also there's it talks about here in the next paragraph, a man from there was this law in India in the ancient time that whenever somebody commits a crime, then the person will be sentenced to be thrown in the charnel ground. And the charnel ground is where the place where dead bodies will be cremated, right? And so. And in such place, it's believed that there are a lot of demons, a lot of ghosts and demons and spirits, harmless spirits. And when people is thrown there, he will be killed by these ghosts and demons. So nobody dared to go around there. So that's when there's one person who was sentenced to be thrown in that place, but he found a piece of cloth from a fully ordained monk, and then he. And thought about the fully ordained monk, a sangha, and then he took refuge in that, and then he was not harmed by these creatures at all.
오다다 되는 데만 마모도 와서 아니 젬바치야 나다 게노시 가지 something이지야 아니 삼칼이야 고치면 메워지 아니 뭐기 나도야 지 피해줘대 아니 가디나 다 지금 촌로에서 와 그만이네 아니 녀마치 다 그야 뭐기 동호대 말아니 다고 그만이 벌레가 갑라야 다 저랑군이 꼬마이나 저랑게 라반이지 가 늘치네 아니 망알로서 말랑아 저기면서 나와서 아니 그 도대체네 저서 말 아니 라바데 답하기 땀네 아니 람바라 저도 저 사제라 저도 출라저도 저 겐달라 저도 저 잠도 숨서 주파가 숨쉬게 빠져버렸어 아니 꼬마데 아니 그 배네 아니 삼바지 올라 본다 되는데 아니 뒤 코는 깨지네 다 꼰주 숨마지면 야보를 마도 시에다가 시사레스 데르세타서 무슨 그런 게 들으랍다베 들을 라피게 니발라 때네 본다 telati samati kaya madam madam no matava what is logic de yourself.
So then also there's a story about a thief who saw a monk with some possession, and then in the night he went to steal. So the monk who was doing a retreat in the cave didn't have and only had one door and a window, right? So a small window, and the thief threatened the monk and by asking whatever possession he has to give it to him. And the monk said, if you want it, then you should ask for it. You should ask for it with your two hands, together. And then he said, okay, give me the things. And then he put his hand inside, through the window. And then when he saw the hand, the monk grabbed the hand and mala, with his rosary. Then he hit on his hand like 3 times. It's just like take refuge Buddha, take refuge Dhamma, take refuge Sangha, like that. It was very painful. And then he, then the monk let the hand go, and then the thief ran away. So he was going to other place. He had to cross the bridge, and then and it was night. It was falling night, so he just took rest under the bridge. And it says that there was like a lot of ghosts in the night traveling on the bridge. So whoever is there will be attacked by the ghost. And then while he was resting there, he thought about what the monk said. He said, "Oh, good thing there was only 3 jewels. If there was even one more, it would have killed me." So when he was just saying that, good thing there was 3 jewels, right? Just the word saying 3 jewels, they heard that, and they were all very afraid to go on that bridge. So that night. So there's such kind of benefits of taking refuge, like just reciting the refuge formula.
Okay. And the Gondan Sele, Turina, dropping US.
So do you guys dare to go to a graveyard in the night, like in the middle of the night?
Do you guys care? Maybe here they're not off. Also, many things we make
Superstition, right?
superstition. Are you guys, can you go to the Mount Auburn
Cemetery.
cemetery? In the night, very dark. Can you guys go? There one story. Usually there one story. Sometimes Tibetan people don't know story. The one time, there are couple monks. They'll just debate, Then say, "Oh, you very that karachana, logo yo mariswa. Logo na chana to tena lando. Pubaji dam the shows ro. And then Pubaji big dam yo na, and chana sanji tendo yo tai is chana shima logo show 3 years. Pubaji dam na ani. Karna thing me say, or the control that they jabas kaje kaze jam to kaje that. Jiman.
So once there were a number of monks, and they were all talking about who's brave and who's not. And then this the one monk, he claimed to be very brave. He doesn't, he's not afraid. And he wasn't. He's usually not really afraid, and he doesn't have these superstitions. He doesn't have these thoughts, so he doesn't get afraid. So he told them that he's not afraid. And then this monk said, "If you are not really afraid, then you really prove it. Prove it by going to in Tibet. There was like sky burial. The sky burial. It's like a big rocky mountain. On the rock, they cut the bodies and feet to the birds and so forth. So he says, go to that sky burial on top of the rock, and then and put a dagger there on the rock. If you not what do you call that? Nail a dagger on the rock. If you do that, then we'll believe that you are really brave."
And the coachene tuchene that's any that the Pubat dabsa. That shemay that that coachene now chetos. And the coach 시다 셰셰가 되는 다 코가 나와야 수수고 가로 나자기 셰다 셰가 랍도 말세 거다 코 너무 나오 때문에 나도에서 나오 제도에서 거치네 그 셰가 와다 그 법받다 말아 그런 게 현답고 되어로 네가 법받다 법사 자대로 법받다 담는 마 야랑서 말아 그 코비게 그런 거 따셔야 그 셰네네 그 정성화야
그래 셰들 그러나
그런 거 찍다
다르래 말아 다르래 이나 그런데 제일 다시 거기 열어서는 쉬어봐라
시 어떤 시에 그러다까지 법받으면 뭐냐면 따셔요다 아니 대라 시에네 아니 가지 정성화해서
And so he went to nail the dagger, on the rock, and he was not afraid. He went up there and he started to nail the dagger on the rock. While he was doing that, the monks they have this skirt like the rope, right? And so when he was sitting down, his skirt and the rope went on the ground, and then he nailed on the rope, right, on his rope, going to the rock, on the rock. And so he said he nailed it, and then he's tried to get up and walk away, and then suddenly he was like caught there with his rope was caught there, right? So he thought there was a ghost that who held him there, and he was so afraid that he died there. But actually, it's his mind, right? He was not afraid before, but then later when he was caught, his robe was caught in the nail, and then he thought it was the ghost, who grabbed him, and he was so afraid, and he died there.
Then you gotta go to cemetery. Lot of things our spirituation. Our spirituation is very powerful. Our mind is very powerful. For example, when you have toothache, it's a toothache, right? Maybe you are busy, you talk something, you forgot. Your tooth is not ache. You go to home, do something more relaxed, start to come in. Because our mind may be loud, right? Then you have something maybe pain here. Your mind all the time thinking that why pain happen. Like your pains be more strong. Maybe you forgot you are doing something busy, then like you completely lost, right? Therefore, our mind is very, very strong. Therefore, Buddha said, you need to subdue your mind. Our main enemy is our mind. Therefore, all the time, just try to a little bit think about mind, a little bit analyze. What's that?
Analyze.
Analyze for our mind. Okay? Good things, bad things happen, it doesn't matter. All the time, checking your mind. Also, open mind is very important. Like big bag, big bag. You can put vegetables, clothes, food, everything you can put big bag. If you have a very small bag, you cannot put many things in it. Therefore, our mind is very small. But we cannot accept many things. Therefore, we have a lot of problems. We make a lot of problems. Therefore, try to little open mind. Think, okay, it doesn't matter. Shantideva said, if something happens, if it is fixable, nothing to worry. You can fix. If something is broken, it's not fixable, nothing to worry. It doesn't matter. You worry, you cry 100 times. You cannot fix, right? This kind of things we have to check. But it's not easy. Right? Because we never thought. Sometimes also special Westerns, I like to study Buddhism. They think Buddhism is very powerful. You can do just a couple months. Be a different person. But this is not, Buddha teaching us not power. It's not like that. Because we doesn't do exactly what Buddha said. Then you just give up. Then you send back to center. You say, I like to donate this book. They may say you goodbye Buddhism. Because you think you can study Buddhism just short term, you are some different person. Then you say, like that. Therefore, very open mind. Then also what we call patience. Make more patience. We have not enough patience. It's not easy. Especially not exactly what you guys completely different idea I bring here. When you grow up, you different idea. Now you different, idea or religion. Therefore, it's not easy. But slowly, day by day. Okay? Then more study is very important. More study. More thinking. Not read too many books. Sometimes you guys read too many books, then you don't get anything. Someone says, this is good, then you just go there. Someone says, this is good, go there. Someone says, you read this word, you go read that. You don't have anything. Try to read one book, same subject, talk about many different, okay. But you think, pick up here, Therefore, study, but not just useless study, okay? Special Westerns and also special now internet, they can give all the information. You think, this is good for me. Then you read, finish, nothing. You read another book. Someone says, this is a very good book, you read this. Maybe good for them, that maybe not good for you, Because you have not foundation. We have need very good foundation, understand. If you have very good stable foundation, it's okay, you can read any books as a work. For us, for the beginners, for studying more compassion, loving kindness, okay? This is more important. We are very beginning. I don't know you guys, I'm the very beginner. Therefore, study, then analyze. Study and analyze. Think it's true or not. If you think more, then you have more cautions. If you have more cautions, you can learn more. Then all the time is saying, oh yeah, I know that. But you have no caution, then we don't. Okay? If you have more caution answers, then also there you stay your mind more. Because when this is I was more experienced. When I was monastery, any subjects we more debate, still I can remember easily. We studied that we didn't debate. No, I forgot because we didn't, debate more. We don't learn very detail. Just oh yeah, I know that. Just go there. Okay, not enough. I know. We need to do something. Okay? Then main thing is not to all the time, not to open mind. Also don't looking all the problems, okay? If you look at problems, you see all the problems. Also faults. You looking for others' faults. You all the time see the others' faults. So don't looking. Problems are coming, you have to deal, otherwise not looking. Okay, the Mahatma Gandhi in India, he don't look at too many things, don't say too much, don't listen too much. If you listen, you hear also many things, then you more develop. Then you say too many things, you say wrong things, some problem, right? Then when they say, from a lot of people, keep your mind, keep your mouth. That's
So when you're in a group of many people, then you should watch your mouth. So when you're by yourself alone, watch your mind.
Okay? Okay, thank you. Like that then. Any questions? More questions? Oh, that question is unusual. Okay? Yeah.
So, do you have a recommendation for reading Loving Kindness? That would be the best. What book or?
You there are a lot of books over there, a lot more easy. Then almost knowledge you compose, there are a lot of books also. We have free books here. Do you see that? And this is more easy, more detail.
Yeah, short and easy.
Okay. Then also some his holiness books. Maybe the 시당하죠. 다 제주도든 다 세워야든 다 주도록 도마로 와서 빨리 가오래. 텔레타 딘디가 갖고 안으로 개봐서 송샤도 도대 여러 와서.
So this the classic text, that's taught by the past priests or past lamas, in a traditional way, is maybe more difficult for you to understand. In teachings given by the teachers of this time, like Lama Rinpoche's teachings, which is written in the book, and also his own the Lama's books, on compassion and love and so forth. So those are more maybe easier for you to understand also.
Okay. 다 가지 시당 가서 마셔겠다. 샴바도 이제 가르치는 가서 마셔 하고 그랬으나. 가서 됐다 냠내지 도게 말어 왔다. 또 두주대로 와.
So most of us, we already know what is loving kindness and compassion, right? It's just that we are not able to put it into practice.
그래서 대다 다 던주 삼로 배나 샴바 깨기 왜 진세 이제 깨기 왜 진세 던주 삼당 그랬어.
And so we have to think about the reason, why we should generate loving kindness, why we should generate compassion.
and the Jinzi, the Hakoana, and the Tamani, that Consola come do the name of the Nija Shambacher, and not sure was.
And so if we can understand the reason why we should develop those minds of loving kindness and compassion, then see that, oh yes, I should generate loving kindness and compassion.
Okay? Yes.
You said you must take refuge in someone, you mustn't just do it because someone else has done it. But then kind of what pulls you, Buddhism is seeing someone else, the Dalai Lama, which is way up there. But you see someone else that is really a good model to follow, and you know he's taken refuge, and now you take refuge, kind of following a good example.
소득주의와 말씀이 세계적인 데 걸라. 여러 문제가 남부초 지가는 그런 배미하고 자유 통과라서 근데 여러 문제나 정아 된 책에는 잘 봤는데 리거라서.
텐리라고 말씀. 소소 진세의 계산을 받아 왔지. 다 미셔마도 제가 나와 대념의 책이 있습니다. 그처라 소소라 그런 거 해보지 싫어 용도 말았어. 소소 문이 즉 대화 제가 진세 제로 하고 하나. 아니 용거로
yeah, of course, in this case, you're thinking about the good qualities of His Holiness, right? Oh, His Holiness is such a great being, he's Buddhist, so therefore I want to become. So you're already thinking about the reason, right? But in some cases, people go and receive teachings, from somebody, without even knowing who that person is. Oh, he's going. Okay, I'm going to go too. And so just that kind of things, you shouldn't be doing that kind of things.
Okay, this is something special that Chinese for the Asian people more. The Tibetans also. They just don't know what's doing, they just going there. Therefore, real say, you have to think about that. Why, what, how, then you can take that. Okay? That means also don't follow the examples. Means not, they're not, karo. The kami yata machi lakko marwase.
So it not saying that you shouldn't follow any good models at all,
Okay, thank you. Then we do for the one thara pray for our teachers. Then Rinpoche's long life. Okay, page 221. Thara is the female Buddha, very powerful. Then everyone can do it. Good tip is very good. Okay? Yep.
O my prostrate to the noble transcendent liberator, homage Tara swift heroic, eyes like lightning instantaneous, sprung from opening stamens of the Lord of Three Worlds, stillborn lotus, homage she whose face combines 100 autumn moons at fullest, blazing with light rays resplendent, as 1,000-star collection, homage golden blue one lotus, water-born in hand adorned, giving effort calm austerities, patience meditation her sphere, homage crown of Tathagatas, actions triumph without limit, relied on by converse children, having reached every perfection, homage filling with tutare, whom desire direction and space, trampling with her feet the seven worlds, able to draw forth of thee, homage worshipped by the all Lord, Chakra, Agni, Brahma, Marut, honored by the host of spirits, scope tracers, Gandhavas, Yakshas, homage with her trade and paid sounds, destroying false magic diagrams, her feet pressing left out right in, blazing in a raging purpose, homage to a very dreadful, destroyer of Mara's champion, she with frowning lotus visage, who is slayer of all enemies, homage at the heart her fingers, on her with three mudra, like great masses all excited, all directions wheels adorn her, homage she so joyous radiant, crown emitting garlands of light, mirthful laughing with tutare, subjugating Mara's devas, homage she able to summon all her guardians assembly, shaking frowning with her home sign, saving from every misfortune, homage crown adorned with crescent, moon all ornaments more shining, Amitabha in her hair, not sending out much light eternal, Homage she mid wreath ablaze like eon ending fire abiding. Ranks their step and choice around you, troops of enemies destroying. Homage she who strikes the ground with her palm and with her foot beats it. Scowling with the letter the 7 levels she does conquer. Homage happy, virtuous, peaceful, she whose field is peace nirvana. She endowed with molten soul, destroyer of the great evil. Homage she would joy surrounded, tearing both bodies asunder. Freeze with home and knowledge mantra, arrangement of the 10 letters. Homage to Ray with seed letter, of the shape of syllable. 5-foot stamping shapes the 3 worlds, Meru, Mandara, and Vindhya. Homage in her hand, the Diamant moon of Deva lake form, with twice broken Tara and a totally dispelling poison. Homage she whom gods and their kings and the Kinnaras do honor. Armored in all joyful splendor, she dispels bad beings and conflicts. Homage with radiance and full moon, with twice Hara and Tutari, she dispels severe contagion. Homage full of liberating, powered by the sight of 3 natures, destroys horses, spirits, yakshas, and raise corpses supreme touring. These praises with the root mantras and prostrations thus are 21. So we'll go back to page 39. The Thanksgiving mandala offering on page 39. Saji perki jukshin metokram ri rab ling jin yi de gyen padi sangye jing du migte uwagi drokun nam dag jing lacher pasho Jetsun lame kutse rab ten ching nam patrin le chok chug ye padang lo sang ten pedrun me sasungi drowe mun sel tak tu neg yur chig idam guru ratna mandalakam niryatayami. Tsongkhapa's final lam-rim prayer. From my 2 collections, vast as space, that I have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving all my Manjushri. May I find the best of completed paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. My heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined. May I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time, by even this graded course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the 10-fold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. The short, long life prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chen Rezig remain in life till samsara's end. The prayer that spontaneously fulfills all wishes. Tong Yi Ning Je Zung Du Ju Pe Lam Che Che Sel Ze Gong Chen Ten Dragon Chag Nam Tenzin Gyatsola Soa Dipso Jedun Lundrum Sho. Page 49, there's a short, long line prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Tuk Tsul Chang Jing Jang Gun Yelwei Tenzin Yelwei Kunzo Do Podze Chok Sung Pur Wei Vegmon Tu Dru Padak Sok Du Je Gundu Jab Ten Shog. Pray to meet with perfect teachers. Or dedication, page 57, the dedication. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha's state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Page 75, Ming Tema. Mig me se wei te chen chen rezi dream kien pei wang po jan pel yang gang chen ke pei chu yen Tsongkhapa lo sang drak pei jab la so wan de. Thank you, Geshe.
Venerable Legden, Venerable Totem, is going back tomorrow to India. He's our former student, also former SPC. Then we all wish for his study also very success. Then when he come back next time, then he will also teach for us his experience, at the monastery. And we all wish for you very long life and also very success in your study. For one day, then we become Geshe. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thanks very much, Geshe. Just a few short announcements. Today after class, we're going to start cleanup of the yard. We're going to do raking, pruning, cleaning up the beds. Anyone that can stay, if you can stay for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long you can stay, a little bit of help would be wonderful. And we'll also buy pizzas for lunch, so don't worry about lunch. And this coming week we have Guru Puja, not Guru Puja, we have a Medicine Buddha Puja on Thursday, and then next week we have the Guru Puja, right? I can't remember. In any case, watch the calendar. Pretty much the other thing is just there's a wonderful retreat up at Milarepa Center, led by Geshe Sopa on bodhicitta, and that's from the Thursday the 16th till the Sunday the 19th. Myself and Jenny are already going, so there is one car going up, so anyone can grab a ride with us, so don't worry about that. I think that's it. I can't remember anything else.